How much time does it take, and how much do we have to go through before we finally get a clue? Hi, this is Barry Fields with 10-Minute Torah, Day 1, Torah portion, Toldot, meaning generations. We are now in Genesis or Bereshit, chapter number 25, and we begin with verse number 19. And this is the genealogy, or Toldot, of Yitzhak, Abraham's son. Abraham brought forth Yitzhak. Yitzhak was 40 years old when he took Rivkah, or Rebekah, as wife, the daughter of Bethuel the Aramean of Paddan Aram, and the sister of Lavan the Aramean. And Yitzhak prayed to Yahweh for his wife because she was barren, and Yahweh answered his prayer, and Rivkah, his wife, conceived. Now, when we read that, we would just assume that this was a quickly answered prayer. Well, it says here, and it gives us this information on purpose. In verse number 20, it says that Yitzhak was 40 when they got married. Then it says concerning the children that were born to them, the twins, Esau and Yaakov. In verse 26, the last line, it says, and Yitzhak was 60 years old when she bore them. What does that tell us? Well, some quick first grade or second grade math would say to us that he prayed for 20 years for the birth of his sons. 20 years. I imagine that most of us would have ceased pursuing Yah in prayer for something that we believed was necessary or desired after a few years of prayer. Yitzhak was a man of prayer who prayed for his wife for 20 years. Can you imagine the disappointment even in Rivkah? I know my husband's praying for me. I see him praying for me. I hear him praying for me. I don't know what's the matter with me. Why is it that Yah is not answering our prayer? Well, this is generational, in that Abraham also had prayed for years for Sarah, his wife, to conceive and bear a child. And they had both given up on that process. Introducing Hagar to the situation, we end up with Ishmael, that whole scene, undesired scene that we're still feeling the influence of to this day. But he prayed and prayed until he stopped praying, and then Yah shows up and says, your wife Sarah is going to have a child by you this time next year. Yitzhak, his son, evidently is understanding it may take a while, but I have got to pray this through. The reason I believe that he pursued Yah in this process of prayer is that it had covenant ramifications. There had to be an heir beyond himself. He knew that he was not the end of the line. The promise, the covenant promise that Yah had made to Abraham is that your descendants will be as numerous as the stars in the heaven and the sands on the sea. There is no way that this can be accomplished just in a generation or two. So Yitzhak has to have sons. It's Yah's promise. He has to do the same as Abraham and Sarah, his parents, did. According to Romans chapter 4, they believed that he who made the promise to them was also powerful enough to bring it to pass. As much as we would like to spare our descendants, our sons, daughters, grandchildren, and beyond, the struggle that we ourselves have gone through, we can't do that. Matter of fact, as much as our parents wanted to spare us from whatever they went through, we had to experience our own stuff. You have to go through your stuff in order to become the person and the caliber of people that Yah has intended for us. No one grows in maturity. No one achieves a greater level of belief or a higher level of righteousness without some means of refinement, some means of struggle and overcoming. In the book of Revelation, as addressing the 7 assemblies, Yeshua says, to him who overcomes. There's an overcoming required for everybody. Now, you don't want to see your children and grandchildren, great-grandchildren struggle. You want to spare them heartache, heartbreak, traumas, but there's nothing to do but to guide them through it with prayer and to protect them and their spirit from what would be a negative response. So we encourage them. We hold their hand. We admonish them for what they have done that is correct. We build them up in our own prayers. Every one of us are experiencing the benefits of previous generations' intercessions in our behalf, whether we knew who these people were or not. How many of the previous generations prayed in a general fashion for an outpouring, for a revival, for a restoration of truth, for salvation of souls? And Yah heard those prayers and applied the benefit of them to us. Therefore, we are the beneficiaries of previous generations. Now it's our turn. And we may think, well, I've gotten to a place where things seem to be all where they're supposed to be, and my life's getting a little bit in order, and I paid off some bills, and maybe I'm feeling a little better about life in some general fashion. Maybe you're still in the middle of a huge struggle, and you would say, I don't have time to pray for anyone else. If you only knew what I'm going through. Whether you are in a good spot or you're still struggling and fighting through the trenches, praying for future generations and praying generally for those that we have no way that we'll ever meet or encounter in our lifetime. We lay up prayers and intercessions for those who follow us. What we are doing is creating a path. We are blazing and forging a trail for others to be able to tread and to do so successfully. It doesn't mean that they won't fall in the ditch. It doesn't mean they won't trip and go face first into the earth. It doesn't mean that they won't get lost and wander away before they figure out how to get back on the path that we have established for them. But as we go, we're setting up road signs and saying, this is the way, walk in it. This is a good path. You can trust it. Whenever we travel, we're looking for road signs. If we're going somewhere we've never been before, we got the little woman's voice on our cell phone or on our navigation system saying, X number of miles until your next turn. But still, we watch for the confirming road signs. Those signs, especially on interstates and so forth, they're there for our benefit. So technically, you can still pull out a road map and watch the signs and get to your destination. Yah is asking you and I to plant a sign. What is that sign? It's the word of our testimony. We're overcomers by the word of our testimony, Revelation 12 says. And so we rehearse our testimonies. We tell our war stories. We tell how Yah heard and answered prayers for us at some given point of struggle in our past. And while some may say, well, I'm tired of hearing that. We need to tell the story again and again. Someone is going to listen. Recently, country music star John Rich made a statement, and I picked it up as a quote. He says, "Too many of our young people think freedom is inherited and not earned." Unquote. What a powerful statement. Freedom came at the price of many lives and many struggles. Our walk in Messiah also has required martyrs and those of giant belief and those who have walked before us. Yitzhak prayed 20 years. How long are you willing to pray to see future generations experience the goodness of Yah that you have also experienced. Offer some prayers today, and we'll see you again tomorrow. Till then, shalom.